Hey, it's Mr. Abel here, and we are going to go through Go Math Grade 4, Lesson 1.2, and this is reading and writing numbers to the thousands place. So we'll get started. Um, so how can we read and write numbers to the hundred thousands? So the International Space Station uses this amount of solar cells to change sunlight into electricity. That's pretty cool. But reading and writing this number three different ways can be a bit of a challenge. I always like using a place value chart, and one vocabulary word that they use is period. And lots of times we think a period, we think of writing the end of a sentence and we pause. Well, when we're talking about it in math here, we're talking about like the thousands period or the ones period, like a group of numbers together. Like in reading, when we see period, we kind of pause. And we're going to do the same type of thing when we're reading a number. So I'll go ahead and fill in this number into my place value chart, and we're going to read it together. And we know that a comma separates these periods. So I'm going to put a comma right here. I go 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, if we had millions and stuff over here. So we're going to read this together. It goes 262,400. You notice that I emphasize this comma, I emphasize that thousands place. So listen again. 262,400. So I'm going to come back to these three different ways of how to write a number, the standard form, the word form, and expanded form, in just a minute. So I always want my students to show your work. So one of the best ways of doing this is to make a place value chart. So you have your notebook, just turn it sideways, and you have an instant place value chart. So since we're going to write down this number to show our work, we're going to label our place value ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100,000. All right, and we know that there's that period there of the thousands in the ones place, so we put a comma. Now I need to write my number in, and it's okay if you don't remember. I'm checking my book. So it went like this: 262,400, and I put that comma in there, and we'll practice reading it again. 262,400. So I'm going to go back to this other page where it talks about the three different types. We have the standard form, the word form, and expanded form. So in the standard form is the normal. This is what you normally see numbers as. And the standard form is right there. Just like that. We got that comma. Our numbers are all lined up and they're all neat. We have the written form of a number. And this is just writing out words to this number. Now, I know some of you like to scribble. I'm not great at spelling. Don't worry about the spelling right now. We'll get there. So the written form would be 262,000. Notice how I'm writing that in caps because I want you to say it loud. Caps means that you're yelling. Comma 400. So 262,400. Sometimes kids write this. They'll go 262,400. I get it, but this is kind of the lazy way. So let's not do the lazy way. All right. So write it out. Don't worry about your spelling. Come close. I'm pretty smart. I can usually figure it out. And the third way is expanded form. So expanded form is, I always kind of think of it as like blowing up the number. We're going to blow up the number um, by place value. Okay? This is really going to help you out when we are comparing numbers in our next lesson. So I'm going to erase all this, and I'm going to show you expanded form. Expanded form is like a big addition problem. So it's a big addition problem. Your book shows you vertically. I'm sorry, horizontally. I'm not a huge fan of looking at this horizontally. For me, math is more up and down, more vertical. It helps me line up my place value. So I'm going to go back to my notebook page here and show you expanded form. Expanded form, it's really important that we look at each place value when we blow it up. All right, so expanded form is going to look like this. We're going to do 200,000, right? We started here. Now we go to the 6, which has a value of 60,000. So I do this. Now we do the thousands place, 2,000. And you'll notice I'm putting zeros to hold the spot. Then 400. Whoops, I put that 4 in the thousands place, didn't I? So 400. And then I will hold the spot for the tens, and I will hold the spot for the ones. And we add this together. This right here is the expanded form. 200,000 plus 60,000 plus 2,000 plus 400 plus 0 equals our number. So we can just add down through the columns. 4, 2, 6, 2. We go back 1, 2, 3, put the comma in, and we see that, yep, it's the same number. Now, lots of times you will see this stay in expanded form written out like this. Let's see. Second page so you can see. Lots of times you'll see it written out like this. 200,000 plus 60,000 plus 2,000 plus 400. This is not my favorite way of doing it. So anytime that you see expanded form horizontally, you got to rewrite it. And it can be confusing, but make sure you line up your thousands place. Make sure that you always line up your ones place. So when we have 200,000 and 60,000, I put my comma first. I'm like, okay, 0, 6. There we go. You got to have nice straight columns with place value. If you start to get crooked, erase it or do it again. 2,000 and then 400. And since it's expanded form, you're blowing them up by place value. You can put them back together. 0, 0, 4. Comma, I bring it down. We'll do that with decimals later. We'll do the 2. We'll do the 6. And we do the 100,000 place here. So we see our numbers the same, but writing the expanded form horizontally like this can be really confusing. So please take the time to rewrite it up and down horizontally by place value. Turn your notebook sideways. This really helps us. All right. I got a couple more seconds, I think. So I'm going to take a look at a couple of other problems with you. So let's see. All right. We'll do this on your own. Read and write the number in 2 other forms. 508,000. Oh. All right, so we're going to do it. 508,000. 508. So there's nothing here, so I just put a 0. It says 1,000, so I have to do that. Lots of times kids just write 508. Oh, that's right, but you forgot to do that 1,000 spot. So 508,000. I don't say anything here because there's nothing here. I'm only going to do one other form for this one, and for 4,619, I'll do expanded form for you. So this is word form. This one looks like expanded form, and this is that standard, that normal way. So let's take a look at number 5. Read it to yourself. I'm going to read it again. 40,619. All right. So I'm going to do this by expanded form. 40,000. Let's start with that. 40,000 plus 600. Now this 19 is tricky because I know that there's a 10 and there's a 9 in 19, right? 9 ones, 1 10. So I got to first do the tens place plus 10, now the 9 plus 9. So this is the expanded form for the number 40,619. Sometimes kids don't do the 10 plus 9, they just put 19. And that's pretty close, but you got to break it up by the tens and the ones place. So expanded form is each place value as something. I do like usually holding the spots with zeros, but for now this will work. Let's read this number. Go ahead and read it. Let's read it together. 570,020. Let's do word form. 570,020. All right. Now let's see if we can put this expanded form into standard form. Okay. Whew. All right. So I'll be honest. I'm gonna kind of scoot this over so we can see my notebook a lot better. All right. So let's take a look at number 7 here, and I made it small now. But let's make our place value chart: ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Well, 1, 2, 3, comma, right? 10,000, 100,000. So 400,000. Notice how my commas are lined up. 60,000. Look at my neatness; it's nice and neat. 5,000. Whoops. There we go. And then we have 100. So to write this in standard form, I just bring down the numbers. It's really as simple as that, but it does take a little bit of your extra effort to write the place value chart vertically and not horizontally. Remember, horizontally like this is no good. We got to think about place value. We got to have neatness. So my number is 465,100, and that's exactly how I would write it in standard form, that normal way. I really hope that place value and reading these numbers in the 3 different ways: standard form, word form, and expanded form, is starting to make sense to you. Let me know if you have questions.